Words of Nehemiah, son of Hakaliah. And it happened in the month of Caselu, in the 20th year, and I was in Susan Habirah. And one of my brothers, Hanani, he and men of Judah came. And I asked them about those that survived, those who had been left over from the captivity, and about Jerusalem. And they said to me, Those who are left over from the captivity there in the country are in great trouble and in shame, and the walls of Jerusalem are broken down, and its gates were burned with fire. And it happened when I heard these words, I sat down and wept and mourned for days. And I was fasting and praying before the God of heaven. And I said, Nay, indeed, O Lord, you the strong and the great and the awesome God of heaven, one who keeps covenant and mercy with those who love him, and keep his commandments. Let now your ear be attentive and your eyes opened, to hear the prayer of your slave, that I am praying before you today, day and night, for Israel's sons, your slaves, and I am declaring with regard to the sins of Israel's sons, which we have sinned against you. Both I and my father's house have sinned. In breaking up, we broke up with you, and did not keep the commandments and the ordinances and the judgments that you commanded your servant Moses. Remember now the word that you commanded your servant Moses, saying, You, if you are faithless, I will scatter you among the peoples. And if you return to me and keep my commandments and do them, if your dispersion is to the farthest skies, from there I will gather them, and lead them to the place where I have chosen my name to encamp there. And they are your servants and your people, whom you redeemed by your great power and by your strong hand. Nay, indeed, rather let your ear be attentive to the prayer of your slave, and to the prayer of your servants, who want to revere your name, and give now success to your servant today, and give him over to feelings of compassion before this man. And it happened in the month of Nisan, in the 20th year of Arthasasta the king, and wine was before me, and I took the wine and gave it to the king, and there was no one else before him. And the king said to me, Why is your face sad? And, You are not unwell, are you? This is nothing except sadness of the heart. And I was very much afraid, and I said to the king, Let the king live forever. Why should my face not be sad, since the city, the home of my father's graves, was laid waste, and its gates have been consumed with fire? And the king said to me, For what are you looking in this matter? And I prayed to the God of heaven, and said to the king, If it is good to the king, and if your servant shall find favor before you, so that you send him to Judah, to the city of my father's graves, I will also rebuild it. And the king and his concubine who was sitting beside him said, How long will your journey be, and when will you return? And it found favor before the king, and he sent me, and I gave him a limit. And I said to the king, If it is good to the king, let him give me letters to the governors beyond the river, so that I may go on my way until I arrive in Judah, and a letter to Asaph, the keeper of the park that belongs to the king, so that he will give me timber to cover the gates, and for the wall of the city, and for the house into which I shall enter it. And the king gave them to me, because the hand of God was good. And I came to the governors beyond the river, and gave them the king's letters. And the king had sent leaders of the force and horsemen with me. And Sanballat the Horoni, and Tobiah the slave, the Ammoni, heard it. And it displeased them that a person had come to seek good for the sons of Israel. And I came to Jerusalem, and was there for 3 days. And I got up during the night, I and a few men with me, and I told no one what God was putting into my heart, to do along with Israel, and there is no animal with me except the animal which I ride upon it. And I went out by the gate of Golela, and to the mouth of the fountain of the figs, and to the gate of the dung, and I was crushing in the wall of Jerusalem, which they are pulling down, and its gates were consumed by fire. And I went on to the gate of Ain, and in the king's swimming pool, and there was no place for the animal under me to continue. And I kept going up in the wall of the wadi by night, and kept crushing in the wall. And I was in the gate of the ravine and returned. And those who were guarding it did not know why I went, and what I was doing. And until then I had not told the Judeans, and the priests, and the distinguished, and the generals, and the rest that were doing the work. And I said to them, You see the trouble in which we are in it, how Jerusalem is in ruins, and its gates were given to fire. Come, and let us wall off Jerusalem's wall, and we will no longer suffer disgrace. And I reported to them the hand of God that was good upon me, and the words that the king had spoken to me. And I said, Let us arise and build. And their hands were strengthened for the good. And Sanballat the Horoni, and Tobiah the slave, the Ammoni, and Geshem the Arabi heard, and they mocked us and came against us and said, What is this matter that you are doing? Are you rebelling against the king? And I returned word to them and said to them, The God of heaven, he will give us success, and we are his pure slaves, and we will build it. And you have no share and righteousness and record in Jerusalem. And the great priest Elisub and his brothers the priests set out and built the sheep gate. They consecrated it and set up its doors. And they consecrated it as far as the Tower of the 100, as far as the Tower of Hanamiel, and at the hand of the sons of the men of Jericho, and at the hand of the sons of Zakur son of Amari. And Hassanah's sons built the fish gate. They covered it and set up its doors and its bars and its bolts. And at their hand one of Ramoth son of Uriah, son of Hakos, took control. And at their hand Mesullam son of Barakiu, son of Masazebel, took charge. And at their hand Saduk son of Bana took charge. And at their hand the Tekoim took charge, and the Adorim did not contribute their neck to their service. And Joiada son of Phasek, and Mesullam son of Besodiah, they took control of the gate of Jesana. They covered it and set up its doors and its bars and its bolts. And at their hand Maltius the Gabaonite, and Uran the Meronothite, men of Gabaon and of Maspha, took control as far as the throne of the ruler beyond the river. And beside them Oziel son of Harakias, one of the smiths, secured things. And at their hand Hananias son of Rachoim took control, and they left Jerusalem alone as far as the broad wall. And at their hand Raphiah son of Hur, ruler of half the area around Jerusalem, took control. And at their hand and opposite his home Jediah son of Heromoth took control. And at his hand Hattus son of Hasbaniah took control. And a second Melchias son of Hiram, and Hasub son of Phatamoab, took control as far as the tower of the Tanurim. And at his hand Salum son of Halues, ruler of half the area around Jerusalem, took control, he and his daughters. Hanun and the inhabitants of Zano took control of the gate of the ravine. They built it and set up its doors and its bars and its bolts, and 1,000 cubits on the wall, as far as the gate of Dung. And Melchiah son of Rechab, ruler of the area around Bethach-Karam, took control of the gate of Dung, he and his sons, and covered it and set up its doors and its bars and its bolts. Then Solomon son of Koleza, ruler of the district of Maspha, fortified the gate of the fountain. He himself built it up and covered it and set up its doors and its bolts. And he built the wall of the pool of the fleeces at the shearing of the king, and as far as the stairs that go down from the city of David. Behind him Nehemiah son of Azbuk, ruler of half the area around Bethsur, took control as far as the garden of the grave of David, and as far as the artificial pool, and as far as Bethag Gabarim. Behind him the Levites took control, Raum son of Bani, and at his hand Hasabiah, ruler of half the area around Keilah, took control for his surrounding area. After him their brothers took control, Benai son of Hanadad, ruler of half the area around Keilah. And at his hand Azur son of Jesus, ruler of Maspheh, controlled a second section of the Tower of Ascent, which joins the corner. And after him Baruch son of Zabu took control of the next section from the corner to the door of Belasub, the great priest. And after him Meremoth son of Uriah son of Hakos controlled a second section from the door of Bethelasub to where Bethelasub leaves off. And after him the priests, the men of Hakakakar, took control, and after him Benjamin and Hasub took control opposite their house. And after him Azariah son of Masaias, son of Ananiah, took control beside his house. After him Bani, son of Henadad, controlled a second section, from Bethazariah to the corner and as far as the bend of Phalal, son of Uzai, from opposite the corner. And it is the upper tower that projects from the house of the king at the court of the guard. And after him Pedaiah, son of Phoros. And the Nathanim were dwelling in Ophal, as far as the garden of the gate of water to the east, and the tower is the one projecting. After him the Tekoim took control of a second section, from opposite the great projecting tower, and as far as the wall of Ophla. Above the gate of the horses the priest took control, a man opposite his house. After him Saduk, son of Emer, took control opposite his house. And after him Semiah, son of Sekaniah, the keeper of the gate of the east, took control. After him Hananiah, son of Selemiah, and Hanam, sixth son of Seleph, took control of a second section. After him Mesullam, son of Barkiah, took control opposite his treasure chamber. After him Melchiah, son of Serephi, took control as far as Bethan Nathanim, and the hucksters opposite the gate of Maphekad, and as far as the ascent at the bend. And in the midst of the sheep gate, the smiths and the hucksters took control.